y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omar and I am coming to you, reporting to you from Cairo, Egypt. It is hot, I am sweaty, so if you guys see me sweating, just please ignore that. I wanted to come on here and talk about my journey with study abroad and how I was able to study abroad during college 4 times. So if you guys are like OG subscribers who followed me from back in the day when I was a lot more active on YouTube, I used to post my travel journeys when I was in Mexico, when I was in Cuba, when I lived in Brazil, and I kind of stopped making content when I went to India. I don't know, I just felt like really like my season of making YouTube videos was kind of coming to an end, and I just didn't really see myself in it anymore, and so I kind of stopped and I took a hiatus from YouTube for many years. But this video is going to be talking about how I was able to study abroad 4 different times during undergrad, right? So I think there's 4 things that allowed me to study abroad 4 times. First thing that helped me study abroad all those times was first believing that I could. I feel like during undergrad there were lots of people who were saying things to me, and I would subscribe to people's threat perceptions. I would subscribe to people's insecurities and their own self-doubting beliefs. I remember when I was in Mexico, that was my first study abroad program, there was a girl in the program who told me to enjoy study abroad while I can because you won't be able to do it again. And I thought to myself, wait, so when I leave Mexico for this summer program, I won't be able to go abroad again? Like, and I really took in what she was saying as fact. You know, she was, I think during that time I was a sophomore and she was maybe like a senior, so she, to me, I perceived it as she knew what she was talking about because, you know, I just thought she did. She was older than me, upperclassmen, and so I just thought, okay, well, I won't be able to go abroad again. But I remember when I was in Mexico, I thought to myself, I really want to do that again. And if I would have totally ascribed to her self-doubting beliefs about study abroad, that probably would have deterred me from pursuing this path again. And I'm so glad that I didn't. I believed in myself. I believed that I could study abroad. I believed that I was going to be able to have the financial means, the academic freedom, and flexibility to study abroad again, and I did it, and I ended up doing it 3 more times after my first study abroad program. The second thing that helped me study abroad 4 times was to be in an academically flexible position. What I realized during study abroad is that it is a lot easier to study abroad when you have more elective space. If you have space in your academic journey where you need to have elective courses to fill in some space, that's the best time to go abroad. That's the best type of courses to take abroad, because when you have elective courses, they can pretty much just be anything. Of course, you should go through like your academic advisor and see like what courses could be transferred over, but in terms of like elective courses, that's going to provide you with a lot more flexibility, because you can be a marketing major and go abroad and take courses in maybe sociology, and they will still transfer back, because elective courses can be taken throughout mostly any department. Of course, depending on your university, but that's how it was for me. I had so much elective space that I could just take courses in any field of study. I was a Spanish major, but I was taking courses abroad in, I took a marketing course, I took a business course, and having that elective space gave me the freedom to be able to be more flexible with my course selection. Of course, studying abroad with the intent to take courses in your major, that's also an option as well. It can be a bit more restrictive in terms of like what courses you can take, because they have to be within your major. But if you want to go abroad and take courses required by your major, that's also an option too. Like, you know, if you're a Spanish major, most likely you may go to a Spanish-speaking country like, you know, Spain or Colombia, like people usually go to. But I do think that having an elective space provides a lot more flexibility when it comes to taking your courses. And I can talk about how I got so much additional elective space in a different video if you guys are interested in hearing about that. But that is a different story in itself of how I was able to have like, I think like 25 to 30 extra elective space. That elective space allowed me the flexibility to be able to be not so picky when it came to my course selection abroad. The third thing that helped me study abroad 4 times was to have a job. Oh my God, have a job. I know it's very tempting to, you know, while you're in college and you're working, it's very tempting to just spend your money on your own wants, you know, rather, you know, and that may be going out all the time or just spending money, because in college, you spend money. We spend money. We go out a lot. We go out to eat. We go out with our friends. That's gonna happen in college, but it is okay for you to sacrifice a few nights so you can save the money that you're getting if you do have a job, because that savings will go a long way when you're studying abroad, because there's a lot of additional fees and different things that you have to pay for that you may not even have planned on paying for. And I know that happened to me every time I went abroad. There were like application fees. You have to pay the third-party application fee. If you're going through a third party, you have to pay for vaccines if you need them. You have to pay for your plane tickets, which may be the most expensive thing in the pre-departure phase. You may have to pay for I don't know, clothes. Just there's a lot of expenses that come up, and having a savings will really help you out, because most of us tend to only budget for our time abroad, and it is important to budget and to know how much you're spending and to know what you need to and to know what you need and to know what you need to spend your money on before you go abroad, because the pre-departure phase also requires you to spend some money. So work hard. If you don't have a job, look for a job. That's going to really put you in a better financial position when you're trying to cover your expenses. The fourth and the final way I was able to study abroad was understanding how financial aid worked. I did not really have a clear idea of what financial aid or how it worked. I knew what it was, of course, because I was using it, you know, as I was in school, but I didn't know how it applied to study abroad. And I also had a scholarship. So I had a scholarship that was covering my tuition every semester, and the costs that it didn't cover, I would use financial aid for. So I had to know how to apply both of these sources of income, or so both of these sources of, you know, finances to my study abroad program. Financial aid covers study abroad if you're studying abroad in the summer, spring, or the fall. I didn't know that it did not cover winter sessions. So when I was going abroad to go to Cuba for the winter, I did not know that my financial aid was not going to be dispersed for the winter. And in that case, if I would have known how financial aid worked, I would have gotten financial aid out for the fall semester and saved it for the winter semester. Like, that's what I would have done. You just have to like understand how financial aid works, because your university may not give you financial aid for the summer or for the winter. And it's always important to understand how these things work, because you don't want to get into the process of applying to a program, getting accepted into the program, and then later realizing that your financial aid does not even cover the program. Like, and I remember when that happened to me, I was like in a really big financial situation, because I did not plan on paying for that program out of pocket, like, you know. And so I had to. I still made it work. You know, I had enough savings to make it work, and I was only going to go for like 2.5 weeks. It was a winter session, so it wasn't too long, but I made it work. And but understanding how financial aid works, and student loans, and your scholarships, understanding how they work and their requirements and how you're able to use them will all benefit you in your study abroad journey. So I hope this information was helpful to you guys. I hope you guys took some value from this. And if you're in the process of applying to study abroad, that is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. Study abroad is an amazing adventure, and I do wish that more and more students had the opportunity to pursue it, because study abroad is amazing. If you guys have any other questions related to study abroad or travel or anything, please let me know in the comments below, or send me an email, and I will be happy to make a video about that in the future. So thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.